What is up, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of the John Squared Gaming Show. This is our fourth episode. I am one of your hosts, John T, and the handsome fella next to me, digitally, not real life, is John Rayfield. How you doing, John?
It's me. Uh, Good. Coming at you in high def for once. No longer using a cell phone. Want to peek behind the curtain a bit.
Hey, the cell phone has good quality. It had some decent quality, and it worked for when we needed it.
Good enough. This is also, I'd like to say to you, happy anniversary to you and Lauren for tomorrow, but also to our podcast. This is technically 1 month.
Yes, very important.
In high school, this is like a pretty big deal.
And this is the high school equivalent of being married to someone for 3 years. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for the congratulations. If everyone who's listening right now can say congratulations to me, please do it now. I'll give you like a couple seconds. And then also I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds to really feel, sympathy and compassion towards Lauren, my wife, for dealing with me for 3 years. Just married to me. We've been together now for 8 years. That'll be July 16th. We'll be together for 8 years. Crazy shit. Absolutely nuts.
She is a strong-willed person.
Yes.
Put up with you for 8 years.
You must be. Anyone who's been in my life for an extended period of time knows that you need to, you put up with a lot of bullshit. Enough about my dumb personal life. Time to get into some video game news. Hell yeah, brother. We got a couple of news stories. We don't have a specified topic of the show today because we have some juicy, horny news stories to go over. And we'll start with the horniest one for me is, the news story that if we had a headline, it is that PlayStation betrayed the John Squared Gaming Show because 24 hours after our show last week, they confirmed something that we were talking about as if like as a rumor before. We weren't quite on. The rumor wasn't 100%. This is not an expand-alone game. The word of the week last week.
I hate that so much.
It's dead for now, but it'll be back. Trust me. We are getting Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, and as a part of that, we are getting the Iki Island expansion. Now, the pricing is what has been causing the outrage on the internet. People are upset. So the PlayStation 5 price for the Director's Cut, which includes the Iki Island expansion, is $70. The PlayStation 4 version, which also includes the DLC, is $60. People who own the PS4 version of the game today can buy into an upgrade. PlayStation 4 will be $20. PlayStation 5 will be $30. What are your thoughts on this pricing as someone who often disagrees with me with their money habits?
This one, because of how much they put into the full game, I feel like this one will be worth whatever you have to pay for it. With that being said, because I bought it physical for PS4 and I have a digital PS5, I have to rebuy it completely at $70.
Right.
There's no leeway for me.
Now,
but I mean, I don't think it's that bad. I trust them enough to put out good content for, if you want to call this a DLC. I mean, it's still, if it's a full island, I feel like there's going to be a lot of content.
Yeah, I wonder how that works for people who, I'm sure you just have to have the disc still to upgrade. I'm sure that's how it works. I'm just not 100%. I didn't even think of that. But um I okay, so obviously we all know, I'll at least speak for myself that I will like jerk Sony off to just I love their games. I'm such a huge fan. I obviously like anything that they do, I will support. I will buy in. And so for me, this is obviously I'm excited, but I also expected this as we see this next generation. The price point for first party games jumping up to $70. I kind of assumed a DLC that is normally $20 is going to go up to $30. And that's the way that I'm
Yeah.
kind of looking at this. I mean, a lot of people are upset that you have to pay $10 for that PlayStation 5 version, but and I know this is not how things work, but think about the stuff that Ghost of Tsushima and Sucker Punch has given to us already. We got months after we got the is it Legends? Is that what it's called? Ghost of Tsushima
I
Legends,
think so. Yeah.
the free content update where it's you get this super cool multiplayer mode, um, and then when the PlayStation 5 comes out, releasing a PlayStation 5 patch for free where you get 60 frames per second. And I'm not sure if there was like a upgrade in the visual fidelity or anything like that, but they were giving these things away for free. So if you have a PlayStation 5 and you don't want this expansion, you already have all of this content that you got included in the $60 price point. Um, so for
And
me,
that's the
yeah,
if you haven't played it since PS4, like you didn't play the multiplayer or anything, well now you have all that stuff too.
right.
Like you, it's worth the price point because and plus they didn't need to do this. They're doing it because they love this game. They're doing it for the consumer. So yeah, the price point you might not agree with, but it's better than what it could be. I mean, Destiny comes out with a new DLC like every 2 or 3 months and charges $30. People pay that without thinking twice.
Is it? I think it's
I
sometimes
feel like that's more
$40.
repetitive and less interesting than this. Yeah,
Um, yeah, I'm happy to pay for more Ghost of Tsushima. It was one of my favorite games that came out last year. I'm excited to. I might even just restart. I might completely have another playthrough just because I wanna. I haven't. I opened it up on PS5 just to see what the 60 frames per second was like because that kind of shit really gets me going. But I didn't actually play through any missions or anything like that. So I'm excited to give this another shot. And I definitely am excited for the expanded content, the Iki Island. Um, I believe I'm saying that right. It's always touchy with these
I've been
kind of
calling it
things.
Icky Island. I know it's wrong, but Icky Island just is easier to say.
So Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is coming out on August 20th, which that's another thing. So Legends came out the fall after Ghost of Tsushima came out in July of 2020. You have a free multiplayer expansion, if that's what you want to call it, whatever content in the fall. Then we're getting more content only a year later. Like this normally takes other developers years, so they are on their A game. A lot of it's kind of been the theme with Sony. They are all their studios are stepping their game up. So I'm really excited to see what's to come for them and other PlayStation studios.
It seems like they're really. I know The Last of Us Part Two came out PlayStation 4, and so did Ghost of Tsushima. But like they have nailed that, and I feel like with the next releases, they're gonna knock those out of the park too.
Yeah. Speaking of the future of Sony, tomorrow July 8th. We are getting a PlayStation State of Play. It wasn't the one that a lot of Sony fans, including myself, were looking forward to. Um, I think a lot of us are waiting for that huge E3 style event where you're releasing all the games coming out in the fall, or you're announcing these games coming out, displaying them, showcasing them, and then even seeing more of God of War and Horizon Forbidden West. This one is a 30-minute showcase tomorrow. I'm pulling this from the PlayStation blog. It's about 30 minutes long, and it is going to be mainly focused on Deathloop, a game that is a Bethesda game. Um,
Looks
pro-
interesting. I think it's one of the last releases.
Probably the last Bethesda game on PlayStation, a PlayStation platform. Um, so this one so tomorrow they have about a 9-minute trailer with an extended look at Deathloop. Um, this game comes out, I believe, in August. So this is like the final hype for this game, getting people to buy into this. I've From what I've seen, this game looks awesome. Um, I probably will be checking it out, just because I love Dishonored. I played a little bit of Prey, and I love that. Um, Arcane Studios is just so underappreciated. I'm excited to see what they do with this, and then even the Redfall game that they announced for um, next year for Xbox. But other than that, this showcase, this state of play tomorrow, is going to be, like I said, 9 minutes of Deathloop, and then the rest of it is going to be indie titles and third-party games. In the PlayStation blog.
I would,
Oh, go ahead.
I would just like to shout out Sony again for fucking us over by doing this tomorrow when they know we record on Wednesdays.
Yeah, so yeah, they obviously know that we do. So like John said earlier, tomorrow is my anniversary, so I will not be available. But going forward for these major events, maybe we'll start with EA Play. We are thinking about doing a live reaction, doing like a little live stream on the YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. The EA plays later this month, so we'll have more info on that soon. Back to the PS blog. They went out of their way, which I think this is the right call. They say this showcase will not include updates of the next God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, or the next generation of PlayStation VR. Stay tuned throughout the summer, though, as we'll have more updates soon. So this is something I think Sony has done really well, where a lot of these state of plays seem a little boring at times. These like not, these indie games that not that many people know about, that they don't draw that much hype. Sony or PlayStation has done a really good job at setting expectations. So, unlike another company we'll talk about a little later, they have been communicating ahead of time. This is indies and third parties. There are a couple indie games that I'm really excited for, coming from PlayStation. Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. I was interested in Stray, that weird looking cat game that looked really sick. So I'm still excited to see what this has, but yeah, I just think it's such a good idea to make sure everyone knows we're not expecting God of War. We're not expecting Horizon Forbidden West. This is indies, third parties, and then the Deathloop showcase.
This is no disrespect to the studios that are making announcements tomorrow, but this is basically saying, like, look, you don't need to watch, just check Twitter for updates throughout the day. Like,
I think this is like,
because I feel like I meant it in the way that, like, if people are going there specifically for God of War, for Horizon, like, they're gonna be disappointed and they're gonna complain about it after. Whereas this way, you're just saying, look, if you're only watching for that, don't even watch. Just get updates throughout the day. You know
Yeah,
what I
I,
mean?
I, I see what you're saying there. I think that these kind of presentations are really important to give spotlight,
Yeah.
just because last week we had a story where PlayStation was made out to seem like this evil corporation who is giving up on indies and like are charging indies so much money for um, like showtime and promotion and stuff like that. Um, they're still showing here that they're at least committed a little bit to giving set time aside, because if we're being honest, I mean, aside from, like I said, Kenna and Stray, the games that stuck out to me, I'm only speaking for myself, back when the PlayStation 5 was revealed and they are showing all of these like Horizon Forbidden West or Spider-Man Miles Morales, all of this stuff, like most of those indie games kind of got forgotten about because of all the hype for these games. This kind of state of play is a spotlight for those games, so they are not being outshined by what we can assume later in the summer. We'll get this big E3 type state of play. That's the stay tuned throughout the summer, as we'll have more updates soon. I could see it being the first week in August, maybe something like that. But they're giving Deathloop, indies, and whatever third parties are coming are having games ready for either this fall or next year. They're giving them a spotlight so they're not getting overshadowed by the huge hype PlayStation first party games.
Well, that's, I mean, my hope for this is that they start putting indie games on PS Plus or PS Now, uh, just so that like they have the chance um, to to shine in the same way that Game
Yeah,
Pass does it. You know what I mean?
right. That's yes, that's something that um I mean, even when you look at a game like Fall Guys, if that game came out and was not free on PlayStation Plus, I think, I mean, sure, it would have a little bit of a little cult following or whatever, but it's not reaching that level that it reached in August last year, where they had everybody playing this game. Um,
Yeah.
things like Game Pass and PS Plus, not so much PS Now, because it's still, I think PS Now needs a whole different, like a reskin, a rebrand. They need to stop calling it that. They need to figure out something like, because even though they've made really good improvements to PS Now, it just has that like nasty taste in your mouth from it being absolutely trash when it first um was a service.
I still don't have it because of that.
I don't
Yeah,
either.
because of how like the initial thing, and it's like the thing I've bought so many of those games afterwards that I could have just downloaded,
Yeah.
but it's like because I have such a bad taste in my mouth, which is it's stupid, but like first impressions are everything.
Right. The PS Now games that are coming in July, they may be available now. Actually, I probably should have included this in the news. Um, is Red Dead Redemption 2, which is huge. It was on Game Pass last year. We'll say that. I'm not gonna just give Sony credit for that, but it was on Game Pass. But also God of War, and that just made me think. Uh, Obviously, you and I PS5s. You got God of War from the PlayStation Plus collection. Um, but if you had PS Now and you had all of these games on there, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Last of Us 1, not part 2, let's not get crazy yet. These like Infamous Second Son, like a lot of these games that are like 5 years old now. God of War isn't even that. It's kind of wild that they included that in the service. But if you had these on PlayStation Now, or and then you rebrand it and have it be a somewhat true competitor to Game Pass, That's when you really
Yeah.
start to I think you would see a lot of improvement, a lot more interest. Um, but yeah,
The God of War coming to it makes me think that there's an announcement sooner than we think about Ragnarok.
I
Um,
yeah,
that also could be because that's what I want, seeing as I just finished
right.
it.
Yeah, let's take a break from the news because this is huge news in itself. John finally finished God of War 2018.
I'm catching up. I'm in the year 2019, so
Um,
still
what
got
are
some games to play.
what are your
That
quick overall thoughts?
I was just incredible. It was very much my type of game. Uh, I I think the story was done. Uh, it was the perfect type of cliffhanger. Now, I guess we should say spoilers.
Spoiler
If
alert.
anyone hasn't played it, 3, 2, 1, get out. Uh, the way they revealed Loki at the end,
Mm-hmm.
and there was this thing I read
Oh.
afterwards that was like the perfect like contradiction or whatever, is like or paradox that Loki is the center of Ragnarok in Norse mythology,
Mm-hmm.
and in order to take Loki out of the center, you have to put him in the center. Like he's in the center of the story the entire time, but he is not the catalyst. So the
Yeah.
way they're doing it, and the way they teased uh, Egyptian gods
Mm-hmm.
and Mayan gods
Yep.
and Japanese gods and all these things, and it's they set themselves up perfectly for the
You're
next
just
like
opening
five or
the
six games.
possibilities up vastly.
And even that, and this is going to make a lot of people upset in the same way that Joel did. But I think Kratos is dying in the next two games. One of the
I
next two ones, I think he's dead, and Atreus is taking over.
I think Atreus is the one who's going to kill
I I think if that happens, it'll be an accident. It'll be because of Odin,
him.
and it'll
I don't
be
know.
Loki bringing on Ragnarok.
Oh
I
man, I'm
they
so
towards
fucking
the end of
excited.
it, that's we're just speculating now, but towards the end of it,
Right.
it seemed like Atreus was back to himself. Like middle of the game when he first finds out he's a god,
Yes.
and he stabs the dude in the neck and fucking kicks him off the edge. That dude would have killed his dad, 100%.
I I I don't know. I just am so excited to see more of that. I there was obviously it's not confirmed or anything because they have not announced anything other than a logo for God of War. They didn't even call it God of War Ragnarok, even though there was that little image that came up on the future PlayStation games on the PS blog that said Ragnarok. Corey Barlog looked really upset about it on Twitter. Um, but there were talks that it was going to be a Miles Morales style game, and I really hope that it's not. I want more God of War, and I want a lot of it. I want a full God of War sequel. I don't want it to be a expandalone
So
game.
my thought that plays perfectly. This is my thought at the end of it. That plays perfectly into what you just said, and I didn't even put two and two together. Whatever I can't remember what it was like. The long word that they were saying was winter, like the long winter. In mythology, it's a 3-year winter, right before Ragnarok. I think that's the next installment. I
Really?
think that's what we're gonna play through that 3-year winter, and then Ragnarok's gonna be the last game. And I think in that 3-year winter, Thor is gonna be the main boss.
Is it
And I think that's what the
Winter?
end of the game was foreshadowing. Yeah, that's it. I think that's what you're gonna play through in the next one. You're gonna kill Thor. The World Snake's gonna die at the same time, and then I also think Freya's gonna go back to Odin and say, "Hey, look, we got to take care of this guy. He killed our son."
Yeah.
And that's what's going to bring on the third part of the franchise, which is Ragnarok.
Hmm.
And if not, then writers, you can hire me. I am looking for money.
Yeah, I'm just whatever happens, I'm excited. I'm in. All right. Back to
Yeah.
the news. Did you have anything else to say about the state of play or anything like that?
No, not really.
Yeah,
It's not something that's really caught my eye.
if I had to guess,
Which is
I think we're gonna get that state of play with God of War and Horizon Forbidden West reveal date. I think that's gonna be like first week of August. Um,
yeah.
but I don't know because I'm not an insider and I don't have any knowledge. I'm just purely speculating. Um, Next up on the news, Apex Legends being hacked by Titanfall fans who aren't getting what they want. I read very briefly on this. This was kind of something that you added, so yeah.
Oh boy.
Why don't you start?
So Titanfall fans, I guess, are upset because the multiplayer has been bugged and messy for a while, and they keep asking Respawn to fix it. It's not Respawn. Is it Respawn?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, they keep asking them to fix it, and they won't. They just keep doing stuff to Apex. So these people took it upon themselves to
Yeah.
hack Apex with a message that said, uh, "Titanfall needs our help. Go to savetitanfall.com or something." Like they bought a website to do this
God damn.
because no one was listening to them, and it's like, and my whole thing is like,
Oh,
get
it's
over it. It's an
savetitanfall.com.
old, it's an old game, and like I understand like you love the game, you want to keep playing it. They should fix it if there's issues, but come on,
Yeah.
like what are you accomplishing? All you did was upset them even more.
Yeah, because I did read that Apex um like the developers responded um to the hacking and stuff.
Yeah, from everything I've seen, they were like, "Hey, we have nothing to do with this game. Like, don't take it out on us."
Um yeah, that's I just don't know. I get being unhappy, but like Apex has been one of the rare examples of EA doing something right. Um
Yeah,
so I just don't understand why you feel the need to do this, like ruin other people's time to prove your point.
I mean, it was the servers were down for almost a full day because they had to secure everything or whatever. Like it's stupid. You're not getting anywhere that way.
Yeah.
You're just
They
looking like a giant crybaby.
they are back online now. I read that the servers and stuff
Yeah,
are back online. So that's good. Hopefully they can figure it out. I'm about to sneeze.
bless you.
Thank you. Bless you. Thank you. um but yeah, this is just another example of gamers being fucking corny, dude. Like,
Piss babies. 3 weeks
yeah.
in a row we've talked about piss babies.
It's going to be a
Had
common
enough of
theme.
it
Yeah.
because
So
they whine. They whine so much. So entitled. Us included. I whine. I'm gonna whine later.
yes, we are. But at least we're just whining to ourselves and people who have decided to watch this. We're not like attacking people or attacking developers, um, stuff like
Speak
that.
for yourself.
I am
I'm
not
about to go after everybody.
attacking developers. Um, so, well, let's get right into it then. This morning, Jason Schreier from Bloomberg broke a story saying that Assassin's Creed will be a live service game. The next Assassin's Creed, there's a code name. It's called Assassin's Creed Infinity. Um, I don't. Maybe that's not. Maybe that's what it ends up being called. Maybe it's not. Um, but Maddie Myers from Polygon wrote, the next game in Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed franchise will unfold across multiple historical settings and receive persistent updates, according to a report from Bloomberg. This game, which is currently codenamed Assassin's Creed Infinity, will join the likes of Fortnite and Apex Legends by offering ongoing updates to keep players engaged. Now, Fortnite and Apex Legends.
How do you do it? It's not a battle royale.
uh,
Oh my god, it's a single player story. How do you do it?
uh,
I'm bringing
hold on,
demons out
hold
of me.
on, hold on. I just twisted. The soda has been shooketh, and I didn't let it pop yet. Hold on. Ubisoft later confirmed it is developing Assassin's Creed Infinity, writing in a blog post that a collaborative effort cross studio structure between Ubisoft Montreal and Ubisoft Quebec will guide, grow, evolve, and define the overall future of Assassin's Creed that includes an important upcoming early in development project named Assassin's Creed Infinity. John. Shh.
How do you do it? This isn't Apex. It's not Fortnite. It's not Warzone. What are you doing? All of those have a certain thing in common. It's not that. It never has been that. They've completely. Syndicate was the last true Assassin's Creed game to begin with. Origins did a really good job with the new format. Odyssey was a good story, bad Assassin's Creed game. Valhalla is good enough. Why are you taking this thing that clearly works, that has been done well, that takes years of development to do right, and turning it into Destiny? I mean, Ubisoft has tried multiplayer with Assassin's Creed before, and it didn't work. Specifically on Unity. It blew the game up. It took months and months to fix it. So now you're doing this thing that's going to go for God knows how long. Try to feed in different countries and do it right with different historical figures and do that right. It just makes no sense to me. It is the dumbest move they could have made.
Well, it does kind of sound like it's going to go on for Infinity. So, um,
No, it's going to go on for a year until no one plays it, and then they have to fucking kill it and do something new. That's
well,
what's going to
that's
happen.
a
Right
that's
after
the thing.
when Syndicate died, and then they had to take a 2-year break to make Origins because they're like, if we don't fix this, no one's coming back. This is going to be the same thing.
To me,
I'm
okay,
fired
so
up.
I'll no, that's the point, baby. I'm gonna preface this by saying that I have only ever played about 3/4 of an Assassin's Creed game in Origins. It's never been a game that I like got into, even though I did enjoy what I played at Origins. Aside from a couple of the cheesy like open world things that a lot of other games do, the stuff like that. But regardless, um, this to me doesn't seem like they are serving the Johns of the world. You, John, the people who consider Assassin's Creed their favorite game franchise, who have all these memories of these Assassin's Creed games. This seems like they're trying to appease other people who like me, even though I'm not interested in this at all. Like, if any interest that I had in Assassin's Creed just went like way out the window. I'm not like, I don't know what this is even going to look like. Are you going to charge a full price game and then have paid DLC later? Is it going to be free to play with stuff like that? Is it going to
Exactly.
be multiplayer?
This it has to be. There's no way it can't be. That's the thing.
Like,
And
what is
even
that?
with that, I mean, you have For Honor. For
Right,
Honor
yeah.
is what this is trying to be.
Yeah.
I think Ubisoft sees how much money they bring in with Rainbow Six, and now they're just trying to milk a cash cow with Assassin's Creed. And
Well,
it's just going to kill one of their biggest franchises.
one of their there was an article or a report that came out uh a couple months ago, I think, that was saying that Ubisoft is looking to move a lot of their franchises into live service, which um, really sucks. I remember the report saying that they believe that free to play, free to start, or whatever is the future of games. So that's what they're doing. That's what they're looking to do with a lot of uh, their franchises. I just googled uh Assassin's Creed Valhalla sales. It is the highest selling Assassin's Creed game ever.
It's really fucking good.
So,
It's a little long, that's coming from me,
right.
but like it's still a really good game, and the DLC has been really good. It's just it looks really good. I don't. It hasn't come out yet, but I don't understand what they're trying to do if not just get money quick.
Yeah, this is so disappointing. As someone like, although I don't play Assassin's Creed games, I did want to dive into Valhalla, but like I did see how long it was, and that is a little intimidating.
Yeah.
Um it looked really good. It reviewed pretty well. The last couple Assassin's Creed games have reviewed pretty well and have sold pretty well. Um, uh, it it just takes any interest that I had, and kind of, like I said, throws it out the window. But if they're doing this with Assassin's Creed, like what's next? Far Cry? Uh, like what else are they going to be taking and making it live service?
This would work with Far Cry or with Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs
But
makes a lot of
because of the
sense.
way that because of the way this, yeah, exactly. Because of the way this is built, it doesn't work with Assassin's Creed.
Hmm.
You have to complete. You're making a new game for the second time, basically. Because Syndicate was, I mean, if you're ever going to play an Assassin's Creed game, that's the one. But after that, when Origins came out, that was like a brand new franchise. That was a
Mm.
complete reinvention. And now you're doing that again after 3 games. For what? There's no reason I can wrap my head around other than money. And you're doing it with the. This is taking it in a different direction, but the pieces of shit that just got accused of assault and harassment and shit.
Yes, I
And you're
did.
keeping
I
them
did
in
want to
charge.
touch on that. I did. I think they were just hoping that we were gonna, the gamers who do care about other human beings, which are very few, but we are out there. Um, they were hoping that we just forgot about this. And it's been kind of hard for me to even want to support Ubisoft. Like even with Far Cry, I love the Far Cry series. That's in the back of my head where I don't feel like 100% comfortable supporting them, because even with the teams that um they had these people in positions of power that were accused, they just shifted them around. They didn't get rid of them like they deserved. They just moved them around. They didn't do anything. They didn't
Yeah.
really suffer any major consequences. So that really sucks. Ubisoft is doing a lot of things that um, are taking, like, I mean, they announced that they're working on an open world Star Wars game, which sounded really sick, but lately it's just been a lot of L's in my book.
Well, that's so the Avatar game that looks kind of cool. I guess the Star Wars game, the reason they got that contract is because they saw the Avatar game and how well. So I want to be excited about those,
Yeah.
but this is why I didn't want to talk about it. Get peel the curtain behind again. John brought this up to me earlier. He showed me the link,
First thing I
and
saw when I
I
woke
told
up.
him that I didn't want to talk about it until now. Cause, yep, first thing I read when I got to work today, which was great. Ruined my entire day. I've been waiting for this moment. Because it's so stupid. Why are why are you why are you ruining these franchises you built up? That's what your focus is. On destroying these things that you put so much time into.
Right.
When you have a bright future with other franchises and you have issues within your own company that you're not dealing with. Like it's annoying. It's
It's
annoying. It's fucking.
Yeah. It's like, I thought we were kind of, as I don't want to even say we. I hardly consider myself. I'm just a consumer in the video game industry, but I thought we were just moving away from this idea that everything has to be live service. It has to have microtransactions. It has to have DLC. It has to, like stuff like that. I thought we were kind of getting away from that, and Ubisoft looks like they missed the boat, and they are just diving deeper in there. Like even we see like EA start to realize, oh wait, like these making very quality single player games can work if you do it right and you care about it. And Ubisoft is just kind of saying fuck you to this audience. We're trying to get as much money. I mean, they started developing mobile games and stuff like that. So like they're I don't know. It's disappointing to see as someone who I consider myself a fan of most Ubisoft games. It's just disappointing to see, really.
Well, that's the issue. It's like it's so stupid. Look at the top 5 games of the last, like, let's go 10, 15 years. They're all single player based stories.
I mean,
Fortnite has
you
it.
take
Well, I
you
mean,
take Fortnite and
Fortnite
Minecraft.
revolutionized.
Yeah, you take well,
Yeah,
yeah,
out of the
take those
equation,
games.
but those are outliers. Every other game, for the most part, has been a story driven game because they immerse you in a way that multiplayer games just can't. You
I
can
would
play
definitely
Fortnite or Minecraft or
I would say like sales wise, you have like your Call of Duties, your stuff like that, but like not that a lot of people give a fuck. But review wise, like getting like review scores and critically acclaimed, you're right, it is single player.
Call of Duty doesn't win Game of the Year. That was the kind of the point that I'm making.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I just
You
saw
know,
that.
so like Fortnite was revolutionary. Yeah, no, that's good catch. Fortnite and Minecraft are revolutionary in what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
So props, hats off to them. Great, awesome. But like, we don't need more of those.
Right.
Some people do. I get that. Some people love that. But like,
there's enough out there for
it,
them.
It just drives me nuts. Exactly. These things are endless. Minecraft, Fortnite, Warzone, Apex, endless. They will never end. Destiny probably won't end. There's enough of that out there. For Honor will never end. You need more Ghost of Tsushimas. You need more Last of Us. You need more God of War. You need games like that work. You need more Halo. It's stupid.
Especially when you look at Ubisoft's what the fuck was that game that they Hyperscape. Look what their first attempt.
Yeah.
Look what that looked like.
It bombed.
Yeah, no, everyone forgot about it 2 weeks after it came out, if even that long.
It's been in season, I think 2 or 3 for a year straight. I mean, that's insane. That means that you just gave up on it.
And is that what happens with Assassin's Creed? It yeah. It really is. It sucks to see. Something else that sucks to see is no 4K in Nintendo Switch. Next up, in the last,
you got me fired up. Now you're gonna keep me rolling, huh?
Next up, and actually the last story we're gonna talk about is the Nintendo Switch, not Pro. The Nintendo Switch OLED model is what it's called. Was announced earlier.
Nintendo Switch.
No, it was yesterday or today.
Yesterday.
Time.
Yeah, it wasn't today.
Time doesn't make sense. It was announced. It was just a Twitter drop. This really weird, like non-Nintendo looking commercial, showing all of this new Switch. It's white. It looks cooler. So, basically, this was not what people asked for. This is, just an upgraded handheld version of the normal Switch. You're getting no added benefits to a docked Switch.
No.
So you upgraded the screen.
Nintendo 3DS XL Part 2.
Yeah, kind of.
That's all it is.
So I'll just name some of the specs that are different. The screen is OLED, which if you're a handheld gamer, if you're a handheld Switch user, um, like great. I can see you being excited about that. I love OLED technology. I That's another one of the things that gets me all horny. But I don't play my Switch handheld. I hardly play my Switch at all anymore. So, um, a wide adjustable stand. So instead of having your flimsy little kickstand, you're getting a wider stand. Which, if you play in tabletop mode, great. That's really cool. Built-in wired LAN port, something that every device in the last 15 years had. Nintendo finally put one into the dock. You're getting
Welcome to
twice
2007, Nintendo. You did it.
24, or what am I saying? 64 gigabyte internal storage. Previously came with 32. So for people who didn't want to buy a SD card, there you go. And then enhanced audio speakers on the Switch. Like I said, it's white. The dock is white. Everything it does look cool, but here's the catch. This is retailing at $349.99. I am gonna let you go first.
Just buy an Xbox Series X or Series S. Don't spend money on this. This is so fucking stupid. This is the same thing Nintendo does every time they have a console. They did it with the DS, they did it with the 3DS, they did it with Game Boy. I mean, what, you didn't do anything. You didn't make it more accessible. Like, there's no more accessibility options for it. You didn't add in 4K. You just made a brighter screen. And now I can a wider stance. Great, awesome. What are you doing for $50 more? Come on. I'd rather buy a used Switch. It's so stupid.
Okay. I mostly agree with the sentiment you're talking about, but OLED isn't just it's not bright. Actually, it's the opposite of brightness. OLED
Yeah, the colors increase
is
better.
it's yes.
Relax. All right.
So let's not.
I
Let's
know what
not,
it does. I'm just trying to make a point here.
let's not diss OLED and don't deserve to be catching strays. Um,
OLED tagged up with Nintendo, so they're gonna get all the shots. This was their decision.
Okay, so my thoughts are, when I first saw this, I laughed. I thought it was hilarious because now this is not. I guess technically, this is not Nintendo's fault. What I'm about to say, the expectations of Nintendo fans brought by these rumors and this hype was this 4K Switch. It'll have OLED. It'll have a new upgraded NVIDIA chip that will enhance frame rates. It will have DLSS, which will allow for a 4K display when docked. It's going to be so much more powerful. It's going to be a step up, and this is what we got. This is what they got because it's not we. Because I will not be purchasing this. The hype
I mean,
and
I won't.
the rumors. It started with a report from Bloomberg, saying that they got this information. There's a lot of insiders that were saying this, and there's still a lot of insiders saying that they still expect a Switch Pro in the next year or two. Now,
my issue with that, yeah, if you're gonna keep kicking the goalposts, eventually you're gonna be right.
right,
I mean, this was the time. The Switch is already behind.
right. So
Nintendo
now
is already way behind.
this is where I'm going to get into what is Nintendo's fault. You were trying to charge people $50 extra for things that should have been included in the first iteration of the Switch. The LAN port, I guess the OLED. I mean, the PlayStation Vita when it first came out had OLED. So, you know,
Oh, there's no. I didn't know that. There's no reason they couldn't have put it in except for to try to be cheap.
yeah. The tabletop, the kickstand, cool. White colorway, cool. Um, why are we getting charged? I keep saying we. Why are people who are interested, who are super invested in Nintendo's ecosystem, why are you charging them for things that should have been available in the first place? You are so far behind in terms of technology, and I get that that's not what Nintendo's game plan is. They are not trying to make 4K 60 frames per second, high super fidelity last. They're not into the Last of Us, the God of Wars, the Halo Infinites. They're not trying to make those games. They're trying to make Mario, Zelda, Splatoon, um, stuff like that, where it's not all about the like graphics. It's more about the art style and now when you what you said about the Xbox Series S, when you're looking at the normal Nintendo Switch for $300 and the Xbox Series S for $300, you can make the argument that this has portability, this has well, games right now, exclusive games right now, um, and some of the best first party games ever made in Mario and Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey and
All right,
Zelda Breath of the Wild.
relax, relax.
Uh, I won't, but I'm just saying you can make the argument with the portability, that feature, compared to this less. I mean, still miles more powerful than the Nintendo Switch. Um, I could see that being like, okay, this is my option, with this features, or I could get this. But now when you're comparing this, when you're paying $50 extra, like obviously you're not getting the like Mario and Zelda and those like the Nintendo games that are exclusive to Nintendo and will always be exclusive to
Yeah,
Nintendo. But 350 is inching closer to PlayStation 4, um, all digital. Is your or PlayStation 5 digital? Sorry, you're
there you
inching
go.
closer to that price point where now you're like, okay, a PlayStation 5 just completely blows like the Nintendo Switch is like equivalent to like an Xbox 360 PS3, probably enhanced. Like if there was a PlayStation 3 Pro, that's where we're looking at with the Nintendo Switch. Um,
Yeah,
so
and this just takes it like to the base model PS4. Or anything. I mean, it's not at this point. It's just not worth the ability with
this
Switch. But with Xbox, you can bring your play games anywhere. Play them on your phone.
this
So it's like, what?
this doesn't bring
Go ahead,
anything
sorry.
up. This is the same exact Switch, but just OLED.
Yeah,
So if you are exclusively like a Switch handheld or mostly Switch handheld, I get you being excited about this, and that's great. I hate that they're charging you $50 extra. If this just replaced the $300 Switch, I think okay. Like I still obviously wouldn't be interested in it, but cool. Like that's a great option for people. But charging the $50 extra and like I have no problem spending as we have in the 4 weeks we've been doing this. It has been established that I don't mind spending money on things that I believe are like quality, worth it, and yeah, and this is not it. This should have just replaced the $300 Switch, and I think at least for me, I wouldn't be talking about this long. Um, but Nintendo is putting out something a model of the Switch with features that it should have had in the first place, and they're charging a premium for it, and I think that is kind of shitty.
my whole thing is like, if this was the plan, just the OLED screen in the handheld was the plan. Why didn't you put that in the Switch Lite? Why isn't this the Switch Lite?
Hmm.
Because that's you made a console that is just handheld. That's just it can't even dock. Why isn't this it? Why is this the new Switch? That's insane to me. And I know you said you can't blame Nintendo, and then you can't blame. I would like to blame the people that don't prefer just the handheld mode and are still going to spend the $50 extra on this because you're insane. No disrespect to those people, but you're dumb people. That it makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Um I get those people in a small sense where like in 4 years, 3 years from now, when PlayStation 5 comes out with like a I don't know, if they came out with a PS5 Slim, like I would be interested in it a little bit, even if it didn't have that many different features. It just, as someone who is so invested in an ecosystem, I get wanting that. But yeah, it's just not for me. I think it sucks that they're charging extra a premium fee for this. Um, if this was the 4K, if this was the Pro model that was rumored, I wouldn't have any problem with this at all. But yeah, I think this was a weird move. I mean, Nintendo's known for weird moves. They have no kind of um like you can't look at their history and their data and draw conclusions because they're just so all over the place. You just never know with them. So that's really
Well, it
all
was
I have
what?
to
It was
say.
the Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo 3DS XL, new Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo 2DS was
Yeah,
all one generation of games.
right.
I mean that's insane.
Yeah, so it's not out of the realm of possibility to see another iteration of the Switch come out relatively soon.
My thing is if they so this is my question to you specifically. If they if this Switch, the new I don't know what they're calling it, the new Switch,
It's just the Switch
uh
OLED model.
that's stupid. Uh come up with a better name. If they have all the features that come with this, and then they also do the 4K and stuff, is it they're gonna charge $400, aren't they?
Um,
If this is $50 more, can you see a world where they do all this stuff, then add 4K and all stuff, and then don't charge 400?
yes.
And at 400, is it worth it?
I don't think it would be worth it. But I think by time we get to the Switch, if we get to a Switch Pro or whatever, I think this OLED model is going to actually replace the $300 one. I think the OLED model will come down to the 300, and then because I think the Switch Pro will also have OLED. So I think that's going to take the place of the 349.99. And then the OLED, this OLED version is going to be um brought down to 299. Um,
Which if that's the case, then okay, good on them. I'm
but
still not spending 350 on a new one, but like
if
that might be worth the money.
if you buy an OLED model this fall and next spring they announce that next fall is a Pro, I'm feeling a little upset.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So if you just play your Switch docked, I would recommend just sitting this one out. If you don't have a Nintendo Switch and you wanted one and were waiting, I would say get this because there is an upgraded battery. Not so from the base Switch at least. This the same battery is with it's called the Red Box Switch. It was a silent revision. Um, but I would recommend getting this if you wanted a Switch and were waiting. And or if you're just in the market for a Nintendo Switch, I would dish out the 50 extra just for the extra features that this one has. But if you have one already, I can't see a world where you should upgrade, unless you exclusively play handheld. Um, so that's it for the news. Normally, what the show layout is going to be is we're going to go through news and we're going to touch on the um, book club, which we still haven't named yet. Um, we're gonna discuss that and then jump into our topic. But since our news was the topic of the show, kind of, we're just gonna give our first thoughts. John and I have both played through. I don't know if you've played it anymore, but we played through first couple hours of Psychonauts. So what are your overall thoughts at the beginning of this game?
It's a. I I'm trying to think of a nice way to put it because I don't dislike it. It's a game really stuck in its time, uh, which is fair. It came out on what, the Xbox. I still think that it. I meant that just in terms of like gameplay and stuff. You know what I mean? But like it is. I think it's really good. I think that, are we getting into like story and stuff?
Yeah, everything.
I
Yep.
Okay. I think that uh, the idea that you go to this camp to be trained to be like a psychonaut, and then you learn that basically everyone has their own issues that they're dealing with
Yeah.
when you're inside their head, even down to the fish monster in the sea. Like it, I
Linda.
think that's very unique and very cool. I like that. Yeah, like, and that's the other thing is like the humor, timeless. It's still so funny.
Yes. Yep. A couple times I was like, I caught myself just like smiling in general, just like laughing and just being like, "Oh my god!" And I agree with you 100%. The not only the story, but the humor and um just the I don't know, the overall like theme of this is timeless, and I think it is more relevant. It's always been relevant, but I can see a lot of people like back in 2005 where mental health and all this stuff was not talked about in a way that it is today. I could see that being like really weird then. But today it seems perfect.
Yeah,
So I've been loving it so far. I there's a couple janky, like you said, gameplay mechanics. When you're doing your what is it, is it telekinesis or when you're like rolling
is
around on
that
the
the
ball?
mind? Oh, I don't think that's the telekinesis. I know what you're talking about though.
That part. But
Where you can do like the yeah.
that was like I had a couple parts where once you get on the ball, like the control gets a little like crazy. Um, but overall, I've been like I sank 3 hours into it the other day and didn't think twice. I was having a blast. I absolutely love the story. It like I said making me smile, making me laugh. It was just a really good time. And although I did think I actually thought in my head, uh, oh, this game could really use a remake. I'm like, oh wait, the second one is coming out, so that's
Yeah,
kind of
it's coming.
yeah. I'm really excited to see what they're doing with this game with like modern controls and stuff like that. But I actually had to stop myself because I probably would have sat there and played um and like the next day on Sunday, I would have sat there and played again all day. Um, so I've been trying to pace it out for the book club, but I absolutely love this game so far. Um, but
I mean, they opened it up with the the coach or whatever. Like you're basically seeing he has PTSD.
yeah,
That's the first level. I mean, that's insane.
I think
I do.
if I played this
I
as
was
a
in the
kid,
same boat.
go ahead.
I was in the same boat where like I the first couple hours are kind of tough for me, but that's just because you know how I am with old games. Like,
Yeah.
but like after I got through that, it was it was so fun. Like when I got to the Milkman level, which is where we cut off,
Yeah.
I really, really wanted to keep going. Like I was just running around, like seeing what I could find because I wanted to keep playing, but I didn't want to do this.
Yeah. There's a lot of systems in this game. Um, it's way deeper than I first thought. And what I was saying before was if I played this in 2005 as a 10-year-old, all this stuff would go way over my head. This seems like a game that was made like kind of for kids, but it really is like for adults or like teenagers or stuff that are like that will catch on to this stuff. But I couldn't imagine catching on to all this humor, and I'd be like, this is fucking creepy. This is like a very Tim Burton-esque style. I love the style of the game. I really do enjoy it. Like I said, the only thing that I would kind of criticize about it is just the time, and that's not, I mean, like the being released in 2005. So I really
I mean, it's not gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not gonna do it any favors being that old.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm excited to keep playing, and we got pretty far into the game. I am wondering if we're going to finish it really early, but I'm going to try to, like I said, I'm going to try to keep pacing myself so we can talk about it a little more every week. And so yeah, we'll discuss a little bit more of that next week. So yeah, do you have anything else to add?
No, we do. You know what I'll add? If you're listening or watching and you want to play along, like we encourage it.
Yes.
100%. Send us, go to our Twitter. I think it's at John Squared. At John Squared Show is the Twitter.
I'll get the official. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, but go to our Twitter. Go to our TikTok. Go to us individually.
It's John Squared Pod.
Tell us how you're playing it. Tell us how you like it.
At John Squared Pod.
So go to at John Squared Pod. Go to we're just two guys on our phones now. That's all it's happening. All right, well, let's not have volume.
All right, yeah, so 100%.
TikTok's John Squared Gaming.
100%.
So, go to either of those.
Play along with us if you want. It's on Xbox Game Pass, cloud streaming, anywhere. You can play it anywhere. So you have no excuse. 3 months for $1. After a whole podcast, a whole show of sucking PlayStation's dick, we will mention Game Pass again, how incredible it is. But yeah, so
we're not sponsored, but Game Pass, if you will give us money, we'll keep talking about you. We'll stop talking about Sony for money.
That's not true, but you can stop talking, but I won't. Anyways, thanks everyone for tuning in again this week. We really appreciate your support. Catch us again next week. Until then, stay horny, stay hydrated. Peace.